Hello, my name is Miss Stephanie, and I am the Social Services and Youth Librarian at Willard Library. Every month we will offer an opportunity for you to find out the resources and the information that is available in our community in Battle Creek and Calhoun County. The expressions and the opinions of every organization might not be the opinions of Willard Library. Our goal is to offer you information and resources so that we can fit the need of everyone. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call at 269-968-8166, extension 501. Well, hello. Thank you for tuning in to our virtual resource program. On today, we have Daniel Jones, the Executive Director of the Haven. We're so happy to have you today.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Haven and the things that you do and what you offer to the community?
Certainly can. As Executive Director at the Haven, I lead a staff of around 58 people. We are Calhoun County's emergency homeless shelter and provide services for homeless individuals, men, women, and children. And we have an entire group of across all ages. We've got two shelters right now, the men's shelter, which hosts single men. And then we have the Inasmuch House, which hosts families, either mom and dad together, dad with kids, mom with kids, and single women.
Okay.
And so a couple other ministries that we do at the Haven of Rest to provide services to populations in Calhoun County. We've got a men's and women's life recovery program for substance abuse treatment. Those are 12-month programs. We run a jail ministry, as well as providing services to homeless veterans through what we call our Veterans in Progress, or VIP program, specifically tailored to veterans.
Wow.
So it's an active ministry right in downtown Battle Creek. We provide food, clothing, and shelter, just like you would kind of imagine any homeless shelter would do. We are a Christian faith-based shelter, and so we offer the opportunity for people to learn if they're of that mind. If they're not, we serve anybody that walks through our doors, and we do that as a reflection on our lives, the calling we've received to serve.
Okay. So you answered quite a few questions that I have. What are some reasons why you would not be able to provide shelter to someone?
That'd be kind of a last resort.
Okay.
I've worked with our Inasmuch House staff in the last couple of years especially, that the answer at the front door for someone who's seeking services, seeking shelter, will always be yes.
Okay.
The men's shelter is very rarely full, so we always have a bed available for the single men.
Okay.
If someone is younger than 18, we can't provide services to them. We would contact one of our partners like the ARC in Kalamazoo that does specialize in youth. At the Inasmuch House, which is very full most of the time, we've got room for 50 to 51 in there, depending on how we configure some rooms and some sliding partitions. But it's very full most of the time. But still, the answer at the front door is yes. If someone is coming in looking for services, we'll provide what we call our warm shelter. It's very minimum. It's a mat, pillow, and a blanket overnight inside. Showers are available, and we'll feed somebody. But then if a room is not available the next morning, well, if it is available the next morning, we'll certainly move them in. If it's not available still, we'll connect with other resources to get them shelter.
Gotcha. And so you might have mentioned this. We find that there are a lot of young adults, like the 18 to 25 boys and girls. I know that you say you offer it to all ages, but do you know of any other places that focuses on the young adult age or teenage?
It's interesting that the government would describe youth as anybody aged 23 or 24 under. 18 to 23, 18 to 24. That's youth still, which I think you and I might think of that as an adult. But,
right.
Young persons services like that, there are a couple of organizations that provide. The ARC in Calhoun County, if they're under 18,
okay.
In Kalamazoo County. And we've worked with them in the past when we see folks that are younger than 18, that are not with a parent or guardian. We'll work with the ARC in Kalamazoo. There is the Battle Creek Homeless Shelter, which offers services as well right down the street from the Haven. And depending on somebody's needs, Share Center or a couple other entities in town like Beyond Share Center, Safe Place.
Okay.
If it's a domestic violence situation, once somebody's over 18, there's that whole spectrum that we would say, yeah, come on in, you're an adult.
Gotcha.
So at that point, it becomes just an issue of where somebody's comfortable or how they want to be housed.
Okay. And how long can they stay?
We are emergency shelter.
Okay.
So when you think of emergency shelter, it's 30 to 60 days
okay.
usually. With COVID and the changes of some of the necessary changes to the homeless shelter rules, there's no strict limitation on how long somebody can stay there.
Okay.
It's really a function of, are they working with our case managers? Are they doing the things they're supposed to be doing, moving forward and making little successes at least every couple of days or every day? If someone is doing that, they should be able to move through our shelters relatively quickly, unless there's some significant barriers to being rehoused. Given the barriers that we've seen lately, which range from everything from a bad credit history or evictions to mental health challenges in being rehoused, that can result in a longer stay in our shelter. So we're seeing our shelter average stay tick up a little bit. So it's now, used to be maybe between 21 to 30 days was the average stay.
Okay.
Now it's over 30 days average stay. So.
And what is the address? Where are you located?
11 Green Street is our mailing address, and that's the front door of our men's life recovery program.
Okay.
148 Michigan Avenue, East Michigan Avenue, is our men's shelter.
Okay.
27 Green Street is Inasmuch House.
Gotcha.
So there's a couple different addresses.
Okay.
We're available on the web at thehavenbc.org.
Okay.
And I see a lot of people, when you get the Google search engine results on a monthly basis about your website, a lot of people find us through the website and ask for directions, which, depending on which part of the county you're coming from, there are directions on the website, and phone numbers available too. So we should be answering the phone 24/7.
So are there rules or guidelines that you have for your residents?
There have to be, and yes, we do have some rules and guidelines with our residents. Certainly disrupting the operation of the shelter, or the safe operation of the shelter, and there's some subjective quality to that of what constitutes being disruptive. If someone comes into us in a condition of not being sober, that's not a showstopper.
Okay.
If they come in and they act belligerent or disrupt the operations of the shelter, start problems, we ask somebody who's not particularly sober to come in and just sleep it off. Just rest, settle down. We're going to get through this, and we don't want to put people out. That's not what we're about. We're about providing shelter and helping people.
Right.
So if somebody's disruptive to the shelter, that's really the last resort, and they'll get several warnings before we put somebody out. Violence against staff members or other guests, that's an immediate, unfortunately. So we do see some of that, but we're not trying to create those kind of problems, and we've been training recently, and Stephanie, you and I just talked about that a little bit, with mental health first aid to help and address solutions where somebody may be having a challenge or a crisis, that we can de-escalate things better. And that's the frontline staff at the Haven is all going through training so that we can learn to de-escalate, learn to use tools better for mental health first aid.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We just appreciate what you do in the community. And again, my name is Miss Stephanie from Willard Library. If you have any questions about any of the organizations that we interview, you can contact me at 269-968-8255. 8166 extension 501, and we'd be happy to refer you to any of the resources or the organizations that are available in Battle Creek or Calhoun County. Thanks again, Daniel, for all the information and everything that you do in the community. Is there anything else that you want to share?
We do have substance abuse treatment programs at the Haven.
Okay.
I mentioned those earlier, and that's one of the root causes of homelessness.
Okay.
Really, when you start to dig and find out what's causing homelessness, when I come and speak in public, I often say homelessness isn't the problem. Usually homelessness is a symptom of a problem.
Right.
A lot of times it is a substance abuse issue, and so we've got both men's and women's substance abuse treatment programs, separate facilities, provided for up to 1 year in residence, free to participants. If women are challenged with an addiction and have children with them, or want to reunite with their children, that's something we specialize in, and we have a lot of success in that area.
Wow.
And so powerful programs. The women's is run at the Emily Andrews House up on Northeast Capitol Avenue. Beautiful facility.
Yes, it is.
And again, free to participants for up to 1 year.
Okay.
And it's about getting clean and sober, reestablishing parental rights if they need to be reestablished. The men's program is amazing. It's been in operation over 20 years.
Wow.
And the guys that graduate are brand new men. They really are. And that ripples into the community with their families, their children, their jobs, and giving back to society, which they do. So powerful programs, and if anybody in this audience needs to contact us about those, please do. They're very powerful programs.
It's very good to know. Thanks again for your time and what you do in the community. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another virtual service program that airs every first Thursday of the month. And today we have from Summit Pointe, Ashley and Tanisha. They are going to share with us their roles and the amazing program that they offer through Summit Pointe, the jail services program. And so I will start with Tanisha. If you could let us know what your role is and what the jail services program entails.
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Tanisha Pointer. I am a social worker and the boundary spanner for the jail services team. The jail services team is a new team within the last 5 months or so that was really born out of a relationship that Summit Pointe has with Wayne State University in efforts to connect people who are being released from jail to services directly from jail. And so a part of that looks like reaching into the jail and meeting with people to sort of assess where they are and what services might be appropriate, and then connecting them. In my position, the boundary spanner may sound like a weird title, but in my position I'm really connecting with our community resources to help come together and to provide a variety of services and resources to the people that we serve. And then Ashley is a recovery coach, and she's a part of the jail services team, and so I'll let her talk about herself.
I'm Ashley Markovich. I am a recovery coach. A recovery coach is someone who has lived experience. So I am someone who has been through the jail and the justice system. I was an addict for probably about 8 years, and I've been clean and sober going on 7. So I'm someone that can really understand and relate to where someone is at that point in time and help them remove their barriers that they're having to achieve sobriety.
Wow, I love how you turn pain into purpose. That's awesome. So for the jail services program, do you go into the jail and try to prepare them for when they get out, or tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we are unique in that we are not the provider inside of the jail. So the jail contracts with the provider that provides mental health services and medical services inside the jail.
Okay.
We would be meeting with people, so we do go into the jail, we do meet with people to connect them to services and to kind of gauge, but our services start when people are being released.
Gotcha.
And so sometimes that looks like Ashley going in meeting with somebody who has an addiction and is ready for inpatient treatment, meeting with that person and getting them connected to that inpatient treatment program, and then connecting them from jail directly to that inpatient program so that there isn't opportunity to go out in the community and to relapse and end up back in the same situation. So it's pretty unique in that we're going into the jail, but we are not the actual provider inside the jail. So our services are really for people being released.
Okay, all right. And it doesn't matter what they're being released from? Like, it's no matter what it is, you all are available to help?
Correct.
I love it, I love it. And how can someone get in touch with either one of you? Like, what's the best way? As a library, we have people that come in and say, I don't know what to do, I was just released. What is the best way to contact either one of you, or what's the next step?
I would say the best way to make contact is to contact our main number, the 269-966-1460, and ask for the jail services team, and they would get you connected. The reason why I give that number is because the jail services team is not available 24/7, but Summit Pointe has 24/7 services. So if somebody gets out on the weekend, we have First Step, and they can always go into First Step and be seen right away and get connected to services in that way. So if we're not available, that is the best route. And then if it's during the business hours, then they'll connect them to us.
Wow, what an amazing service. And you said you all just started about
January 17th was when I started. Ashley started about a couple weeks after.
Okay. And so obviously you saw a need in the community, and so Summit Pointe put together this program, or how did it start?
Correct. So prior to the start of the jail services team, there was some baseline data taken with Wayne State University in a partnership where they collected what are called Kessler 6. They are screening tools that help people identify symptoms of severe mental illness or substance abuse issues as they come into the jail. And so taking that data, looking at the baseline data, really identifying that there was a gap in services. And so maybe someone was connected to services on the inside, but maybe they didn't get a script, or they didn't get connected to any outpatient services. And so there was really a gap in bridging those two services. And so that people aren't getting lost as soon as they step outside that door. Being released at 4:30 in the morning, and you had been on medications and you don't have anything set for you is pretty much a recipe for recidivism. So that was really where this program was born out of.
And what has been most rewarding for you?
So I would have been, if it was the right timing, I would have been a person that was part of that data. I would have been one of those numbers that fell off after getting released from jail, not being connected to the appropriate service, not getting the resources I needed, not understanding the help that was out there for me. I would have been part of that data. So it's rewarding for me, even if someone doesn't make it, doesn't stay sober, it's still rewarding that they have the knowledge now, because I had nothing. And I went in and out of jail multiple times, and I stayed in my addiction a very long time. And so it's rewarding just being able to point someone in the right direction. So every single day I get rewarded with my job, I should say. We've had some really amazing success stories since starting this program. Good. Because people don't know what's out in the community.
Right.
You know, especially when you're in addiction or you're struggling with your mental health. You're focused on that.
Yes.
And so having someone step in front and say, "Oh no, I know a better way." It makes for something to be proud of every day.
I love it. I love it. I love that you offer this. Can one of you again tell our viewers the contact number and the location if they need to get a hold of either one of you?
Sure. we can be contacted at 269-966-1460 and just ask for the jail services team. My name is Tanisha, and the recovery coach is Ashley. And you can ask for either one of us. There are only 2 of us, so it seems so it shouldn't be that hard to get connected. And then if you are looking to, start services, you can always walk into First Step,
which is at 175 College Street.
Thank you. And again, my name is Miss Stephanie. If for some reason you would like to connect with them and you can't remember the number, you can come to Willard Library at 7 West Van Buren, or you can call me at 269-968-8166 extension 501, and I will do my best to connect you to this resource or any other resources that may be of a need for you through Willard Library. So thanks again, Summit Pointe, Tanisha and Ashley, for coming and letting us know about another resource that we have right here in Battle Creek. I do want to ask, I did forget to ask this, is there a cost, is there insurance, is there a rate? How does that work?
Yeah, so our target population are local people.
Okay.
So Summit Pointe is a community mental health, and so our target population are those people who have Medicaid or no insurance, and so the cost isn't going to be the first thing we talk about when it comes to connection to services.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again for being here, and thanks for what you're doing for the community.